Last time we talked about Sunday school teaching, and in this we are going to divide the presentation into two. The first one is the kindergarten. The second one is the elementary school. We touched on the kindergarten last week, and we had, let me close the video. And kindergarten is 3 to 5. Those ages are guidelines. Those are not average ages. Those are not mandatory ages. So whatever we talk about, the ages has plus or minus 1 or 2 years. Characteristics is the physical growth, and the focus is in the sensory motor control, which is the control of the mind of the muscles of the body. And physical activity is pretend play. They would like pretend play and playing roles. And they are egocentric, which means that they see themselves as the center of the universe, as the center of the universe. This is very important to them to be able to grow and focus on themselves and build their muscles, build their skills, build their software. You have to encourage the right things they say. Give them feedback. Correct them if that's you need to do that. Every person should practice in Sunday school. Every person, not only the person who raises hands or active person, should answer the questions, should be part of the community, should be part of the group. They don't discriminate quite well between the imagination and reality. As we said, the child may think that or imagine that he thought of riding a camel, riding a lion, riding an eagle, and he may say that that's because he doesn't imagine it, or she doesn't imagine it, but she doesn't discriminate between the imaginary and the reality, which is they mix reality with imagination very, very well. Never mention the word lie, because they might have imagined something and in their mind this has happened. So if you tell them you are lying, you change them to liars. They have no sense of time. What they want now, and they want it immediately. This is the fact of instant gratification. They want everything now to gratify themselves. They can imagine the world through schemas, through symbols. So when you say 2 plus 3, they don't understand that these 2 may represent apples. The 3 may represent oranges. They don't mix in their mind the representation. Use imaginary to explain things to them. For example, we mentioned this when you talk about Noah's Ark. You may bring them a Noah's Ark. You may bring them stuffed animals, stuff them in the Noah's Ark to imagine the things they need to imagine. They can do math in their fingers. We'll see a video on that. and the math is very limited because of their representation. They can discriminate between lengths, weights, time, which is bigger, which is smaller, but they cannot mix length, weight, and time in their mind. Uh, they You have to respect their nose, and you have to respect and encourage their whys, because this is the way to learn. When they say no, this is the way to build personality. When they say why, this is the way they build their knowledge. They explore things. Uh, Main goal of this period is exploration. In exploration, they want to discover the world, discover the things around them, discover their environment. They begin to assert control and power over environment. That's the way they can manage their life in the future. They know their limitations through this period. They know their abilities through this period. Success in exploration, success in asserting their control leads to a sense of purpose, and failure leads a sense of guilt. And this guilt, failure, may stay with them for quite some time until somebody removes this. For ages 3 and 5, teachers must be a symbol of Christ, because they can't see Christ, they can't know who Christ is, but they need to focus on Christ through the teacher, through the Sunday school teacher, through Abuna, through the servants. They have to do that. Christ involved means if the servant is involved with them, Christ is involved with them. If the servant is active in their life, they are involved with Christ, and Christ is active in their life. That's very crucial to have a servant who is Christ-like, involved in their life, have mercy on them, have love to them, and give them the image of Christ as it is in him. Christ the loving is very important for the servant to be loving, and to be loving for the active kids, for the beautiful kids, for the poor kids, for everyone. Also, Christ is so forgiving because Christ has forgave us from our sins. So if we remember the mistakes of the little ones, they will lose the sense of forgiving for Christ. So it's very important for the servant to give them the sense of forgiving. Be only the symbol of Christ. I remember St. John the Baptist said one day when he saw Christ, and his disciples went to him and said, this is the man who taking the attention of the world. That's in their words, that's not literally in their words. And he said that this must increase and I must decrease. He pointed their eyes to Christ. He pointed their eyes that they are not his disciples, they are the disciples of Christ. The attachment here is to Christ. The attachment is to the church because it is the body of the Christ. We need to transfer the attachment to his body and to Christ, to the church and the saints. I must decrease, as we said, I must decrease in the eyes of the who I serve, because Christ is the one I need to point at. This is an example of a lesson We need to encourage them building a physical model because they act on imagination. They work on imagination. The coloring book is a great tool. Coloring book, it enhances their imagination, enhances their ideology. Play-Doh, another way of involving their hands, involving their skills, in involving their imagination to build a lesson. This will support their sensory motor growth, and also it connects reality with imagination because they need their imagination. Here are some of the challenges: bedwetting and classroom accidents. This is very normal in this age because not everyone is trained in the same time for. They say, the psychologists say that bedwetting continues until the age of 11 or 12, until adolescence. Sometimes an accident continues until that age. So if one or two have this problem or classroom accidents, I can accept them, I can cover them, I teach them how to be loving toward them. Thumb sucking is a soothing mechanism. I'll involve them in doing something with their hands, Play-Dohs, coloring books, or play with dolls in the classroom to approach them with this. Playing with private parts is very common in this age, and this is part of their exploration. They don't have a feeling of sexual feelings, but they play with private parts to explore themselves, and focusing on this will cause them to continue to do that because it gives them attention. So I'll ignore this totally. Classroom rivalries, which is the fighting between those, I'll give everyone a role. I'll engage everyone in a role in the classrooms. Sexual questions, I need to answer them as simple as possible, but I need to be truthful also. I don't need to use myths or imagination or something unreal, but I need to give them very straightforward answer. That's the way to build trust. Nightmares is very common in this age, and the stories of the saints can soothe them. The story of the martyrs, I have to remove the pain part of it. I need to mention that they were in pain, but I need to mention the glory of the martyrs, that they are with Christ and they are enjoying the time now. I need not to focus on the pain. Overactive children, the way to deal with that child is to engage him or her in something. I need to give them gifts to distribute. I need to engage them in distributing colors for the coloring books, distributing the Play-Doh, distributing anything which help them. Bad language and bad stories are very common in this age, and I wouldn't mention them. Mentioning them, focusing on them can get the children to be more involved in this. This is a practice. I'll send this presentation to you. Imagine that you are going to tell them to deliver a lesson about Noah's Ark. And in Noah's Ark, we need to choose the words, the verses, imagine that you are going to do that. I'll send this to you, and please try to imagine yourself. I'll move forward to the elementary school teaching, and in elementary school teaching, we will come back to it in a few seconds. Not mandatory. Elementary school may have from 5 or 4.5 to 13, for example. So these are just guidelines. But in the same time, we have characteristics for this stage. They don't think, they are more advanced thinker than the kindergarten age, but they don't think like adults. Yet they have to go through puberty, they have to go through adolescence to think like adults. The characteristics of this age are inactive sexual feelings, their sexual desire is not there, and they're going to get it in the adolescence. Developmental of ego and superego, which means that the developmental arc of the moral system is based on this age, and that's the superego, and the personality is based on this period also. So the personality starts to show up. The superego of the people, which is the moral system development, starts in this. That's why this period is so crucial to the people in Sunday schools. It's very important to enhance their moral system, feed it with the proper Christian values, with the proper Christian look, because their personality is going to use this moral system in their development. Children are more concerned with development, with the relationship development. Relationship with the peers is so important to this stage. They learn how to build relationships, how to build relationships with the community, how to build a relationship in work, how to build a relationship in every aspect of life, and even in adolescence too. Sexual energy is still present, but it is directed into other areas, such as intellectual pursuits and social interactions. Intellectual pursuits started to develop here. Intellect is not as adults, but it's not as miniature adult, but it is different than miniature adults. We'll see a video which is talking about this. This stage is important development, social relationships and intellectual abilities also. Respect their questions. It's because the intellectual abilities start in this age, we need to feed them through their curiosity. And they have questions because they are curious about anything and everything. Correct their relationships, but answer their questions the right way. They are still rich in imagination, but they know the difference between the real and imaginary stuff. They know that difference very well, and I need to respect that. Respect their imagination. If they say that they imagine something, respect it, develop it, talk about it, respect their questions. They are still egocentric. they are still egocentric, but they change in this stage into ethnocentric. Egocentric means center about themselves. Ethnocentric means center about the community. Their community is their center of their life. And they change to this from the previous stage. You have to encourage their related to Christ. They are related to Christ. You have to encourage their relationship to the saints. Everybody has to have a patron saint in this area, in this stage. Everybody builds a relationship with the patron saint. Everybody grow in his relationship with the patron saint. They think in concrete way means a solid way. They have to have facts to think about it. They relate to real objects. I can't talk to them about some imaginary objects. When I talk to them like human rights, for example, they don't understand it. They can't comprehend it. They have to have real stuff in front of them to think about that. You have to relate their ideas to things they know. For example, I have to get them approached by ideas they know. I have to give them, when I talk about heaven, for example, I can say that heaven is, I can't imagine because it's outside of my imagination. It is timeless and I am timed. It's spaceless and I am spaced and I am limited in space. So I can say that, but in the same time, I have to relay them to something they understand. Like I take them to the ocean and I say, heaven is like the ocean, but even the ocean is limited, but it is unlimited in what I see. Heaven is a joy you can't imagine. So imagine the joy when you see your dad, when you see your mom, when you eat something very well, when you go to something. Heaven is something like that. And I need to relate this idea to them somehow. They can do some math in their mind, but it's related to solid things. So when I say 4 plus 5, they put 4 in their mind, but they put 4 as objects, as oranges, as dolls, as pencils, as anything, and they add the 5 in their hands. So I can relate that. Always encourage their whys. Their whys are crucial for their mental development. Their whys in the previous stage was crucial to their imagination. Their whys here is crucial to their intellectual development. Their curiosity is the only way to knowledge. Remember that they are curious and their curiosity is very factual. Be factual in answering their questions. I can't give them an imaginary answers. I can't give them, I can't lie on them. I can't give them answers just to shut them down. I can't give that. I have to be satisfying to them, even if the question is critical, but I need to answer this. The demand of school on them is so high. It's much higher than what you can imagine. What makes it easy is the social relationship with the other students, the social relationship with a good teacher, the social relationship with a good principal. And these academic demands are new to them. They need to think about it. They need to learn something, And that's not an easy task. It might be an easy task for you, but it's not an easy task for them. Success leads to a sense of competence. I can do anything and everything. I can do with the grace of God by anything. Failure results in feeling of inferiority. I feel inferior, less than others. The others can understand and I don't. So give them tasks they can do. They can succeed. Don't give them tasks which you know that they are going to fail with. Uh, Feed them with proper value system. The value system is so crucial to them because they know that God through the value system. They know the right and wrong through the value system. And we need to focus on spiritual morals, that morals are given from God, and we need to love each other. We need to cherish each other. We need to help each other because helping is more pleasurable than taking. It's psychologically proven that the people who help are much better in their psyche than people who don't offer help to others. Challenge them to succeed, but don't challenge them to fail. Give them the problems they can solve appropriate to their age and challenge them to succeed in it. Success let them feel competent, and failure let them feel inferior to others. Using movies and animations is so crucial to them. Using cartoon characters, using movies they can understand is very crucial to them. And we need to use this as much as possible. The correct movies, the correct characters. The world is dumped in an evil world. The way they use movies and animation is to spoil the thinking of the people, to spoil their morals, so, to spoil their values, their value system. We need to use movies and animations to enhance their value system and enhance their understanding. Some of the Sunday school class teachers, they give them roles to play as Bible characters, as Bible stories. To understand Bible story, you can let them act the roles of the Bible stories. Let them feel that they can do it. And they are very capable of doing the roles of Bible stories. Emphasize the Christian behaviors and Christian values. And Christian values are ideas. And the ideas influence the behaviors so much. So implement in their idea, in their thinking, the values of Christianity. That's how their behavior is going to be Christian. I remember Abuna Bishoy Kamil used to teach in Sunday school how to baptize. And the way he used to teach this, to teach this is to take the children to the beach. And I remember at that time, one of the beaches in Alexandria was so empty. It's one of the most popular beaches now. And Abuna Bishoy used to show us how to baptize people and play the roles of the priest and play the roles of the baptized person and the parents and in the sea. The sea was fun. That's why the values implanted in our minds as fun values. Encourage them to build relationship with the Bible sense. Encourage them to build a relationship with Saint Mary. Saint Mary is real. Saint Mary is living with us. Saint Mary is living in her churches, and the saints also are living in their churches. The Archangel Michael's and Raphael and Suriel and the rest of the archangels are living in the churches, in the Church of Archangels. They are living. Saint Philopatir is living in Saint Philopatir Church. Saint George is living in Saint George Church. And they are, we have to have a relationship with them. The best relationship is done in this time, in the time of ages 6 to 12. They are pure in their mind. They can manage the relationship. They can talk to the saints. They can talk to the angels. They can talk to the archangels. They can talk to the Lord. We all can talk to the archangels. In this period of time, if they build a relationship with the saints, it's going to be with them all the times. Encourage them to build a relationship with the Bible. Not only the Bible characters, but the Bible stories. And encourage them to build a relationship with the church community. I am so pleased with what's going on in Mahragan. They build a relationship with the other characters of the church, with the people of the church. They learn a lot in a community, in a pure community. The community of the church is different than the community of outside, because the community of outside is put in evil thinking. But the community of the church, even if one of the people in the church thinks that he would go away, the other people will bring him back. It wouldn't influence the community of the church. And I trust the Lord that he is going to protect the community of the church. In this area, there are some special needs, and I need to consider the special needs. Stuttering, stammering, and lisping, we talked about this, and we have seen a video about this back in some time last week. So you accept the people with speech impediment. You accept them, give them a chance to finish the sentence, to talk about it, to feel proud about themselves, even if they have a lisping. Accept them as they are, as the Lord accepted us all. So your proper value is to accept them. Nobody is different. We are all different. ADD is an old definition of a spectrum of ADHD. ADD is attention deficit disorder, and ADHD is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. In the new way of defining those diseases, we say that attention deficit hyperactivity disorder has a spectrum, and has a spectrum meaning that there are some people who have not focused well in the subject when I talk about it, or when the teacher is talking about it, or is having hyperactivity during mentioning the subject. And the psychologists say that this is the same disease with different places in the spectrum of this. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder can be treated with psychotherapy, and you can teach, or the psychologist can teach skills to the kid to overcome this activity. We'll talk about it some other time, but we need to use the school nurse, the school social worker, the school psychologist to give them. The best thing is if you notice that some kid is hyperactive, you give the information to Abuna and let Abuna handle this, because we all have stigma against the psychological disorders, and we think that we are crazy while it is not. And I prefer not to deal with medications at this stage for these problems, but to deal with psychotherapy and learning behaviors and behavioral therapy. Children with physical ability, sometimes we hurt them in the Sunday school and we hurt them in the church, while the Lord have accepted them. He has accepted all of them. Physical disability means deformation of face, some disability in their movement, some disability in their thinking. We need to accept those. Those sometimes are the blessings of the community, the blessings of the people around us. Social behavior problems include disruptive children, which damage everything about them. Withdrawal children, they sit withdrawing. They don't want to have a relationship with anybody. I need to talk to Abuna about them. And the best thing is to talk to Abuna, and there is nothing with no treatment these days. Everything has a treatment these days. There are children with some psychological problems, like an OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, or tics, or some other problems like schizophrenia. It's very rare in our community. Schizophrenia and bipolar, and bipolar is a problem definition. If I have this, I have to talk to Abuna, but I don't have to mock them. I have to accept them. OCD means obsessive compulsive disorder. A guy closes the door and then goes to his desk and then goes back to the door, thinking that he didn't close it well. He closes it. And some of these problems, some of these disorders are so disruptive in the life of the kids. Tics means I have a movement, uncontrolled movement in my body, like moving the shoulder, moving the hand, moving the leg, or something like that. And everything has a treatment again. I'm challenging you to do something. I'm challenging you to put together a lesson about Noah's Ark and the flood. Imagine that you are sitting in a class and you are going to do a lesson about Noah's Ark. What are you going to do? What are you going to bring? What selection of the the verses which will fit them. I challenge you to do that, and we'll see it next time. So the assignment now, present how would you deliver the lesson? What goal would you choose for the lesson? What verses would you select? What audio-visual aids would you use? And then we present it. We'll see that next time. I hope you implement all these principles in your lesson, and let us see how it goes. Any question? I'll answer the questions next time, inshallah. God willing. Okay. Good to see you all.